I was inside the house with my kids and my wife, and we were playing some sort of a game. I forget what game it was, but I saw in the background a coyote run across the backyard and hop the fence with the chicken in his mouth. I'm like, motherfuckers. I thought maybe somebody left the coop open or something happened, so I run outside, and there's Johnny standing over this destroyed coop that he was so proud that he busted apart. The coyote tricked him into smashing that coop, and then the coyote grabbed the chicken and ran off with it.
I wish I'd known about this story when I was writing Coyote America. I would have put it in there.
How amazing is that? Like, there's no doubt in my mind that that coyote tricked that dog into doing that, because that dog had never destroyed that coop. And then afterwards, he realized he's so strong, he can go right through the whole coop. So he tore a hole in the mesh, the chicken wire. He just tore it apart. He was so big. And then he went in and killed 9 of them. And
Your dog killed 9 of them?
Yeah, he killed 9 of them.
Oh,
I had 22 of them at one point in time. And he killed 9 of them in one, like, in just as much time as it took for him to get out there. He fucked up a couple other ones too, but they lived. He was just grabbing them and shaking them and grabbing them and shaking. He was having a party. Unfortunately, he was taught to do that by the fucking coyotes.
Well, I mean, this is an example of what one would call animal culture. You know, I mean, I make an argument for it in Wild New World that this is something that happens fairly commonly. Animals, just like us, have culture, and they teach one another things. That sounds like a pretty good for instance of it.
Well, they're so clever. They're so clever. And it's so interesting, our thoughts about intelligence. Because just until recently, we've realized how intelligent ravens and crows are. About they can use tools. They understand water displacement. So if they can't drink out of something, they'll drop rocks into it so the water level raises so that they can drink out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's brilliant stuff. So I wonder, because we don't have a way of measuring that with coyotes, I wonder how smart those motherfuckers are.
Well, they are, I think, probably among the smartest of the wild animals, certainly in America. I mean, you know, one of the reasons we domesticated wolves and created dogs out of them is because, for one thing, we understood them. They live in the same kind of circumstances we do in social groups. They have to acculturate their pups just the way we have to do with kids. And so I think part of the explanation for why dogs are our oldest domesticate is because of their ability to understand us, to understand human language. I mean, this is one of the theories for early domestication of wolves, is that there were some of them that were not only hypersocial and so amenable to being with humans and hanging out with us, but also because there are some that were gifted word learners. We didn't have to learn their language. They learned our language. And I think that is probably an indication of, you know, coyotes are out of the canid family. All these creatures come out of the same family from 5.3 million years back. And I think coyotes in some respects may be the shrewdest and cleverest of all those groups, because unlike wolves, they're not the big brawny dogs on the block.
Yeah.
They're the ones who have to play this game of, man, I can't let this big burly wolf get me. I've got to figure out how to elude it. And that's responsible for a lot of their intelligence and cleverness, is they co-evolved alongside wolves for so long. They had to learn how to be the little guy who managed to survive by his wits.
Yeah, and also one of the things that I learned from your book that's a good thing to bring up here is that they are not directly related to gray wolves, so they didn't interbreed with them.
That's right.
They interbreeded with red wolves.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
when the gray wolves were around, the gray wolves just slaughtered them.
Yeah.
And so they had developed this ability to spread their territory, which is what, when humans started killing them, now they're in every single city in the country.